What is the world really turning into? What is going through humans' minds these days to commit such a heinous act? The world is becoming so scary and crazy that we don't even know who to trust or who to be afraid of anymore. Because even a trusted family member can turn to a monster within a twinkle of an eye. This is a story of Jacob Prichard, 34 years. He worked at the Air Force Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson. His wife, Jaymee Prichard, 33 years old, was employed at the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center, and Jaime Gustitus, First Lieutenant, 25 years old, served in the 711th Human Performance Wing, also part of the research laboratory. Follow me on this episode till the very end as we investigate to unravel how and why Jacob Prichard killed his wife, Jaymee, and his colleague, Jaime Gustitus, then turned around and shot himself to death. Before we go deep into the story, kindly subscribe to my channel. Comment your thoughts about this story. Thank you. To colleagues, they were professionals, part of the military-civilian ecosystem that powers one of America's most strategic bases. Around them, the hum of experiments, human performance studies, the discipline of military schedules. But behind the IDS and clearances, something dark was stirring. In the hours of late October 24 moving into October 25, the calm of regional Ohio was broken. Neighbors in Sugar Creek Township reported disturbances around 2 a.m. A break-in, a shot, a silhouette leaving an apartment. Earlier that night, no official cause for alarm for what seemed like routine operations on base. But then, a man took actions that would ripple through 3 families, 1 community, and a military institution. The apartment in Sugar Creek Township around 2 a.m. on October 25th. Law enforcement say Jacob Prichard drove to the apartment of Jaime Gustitus in Sugar Creek Township, broke into her home, and fatally shot her. Why Gustitus? She was known to Jacob and Jaymee through work at Wright-Patterson. The motive remains unclear. No official statement yet confirming relationship details or dispute, but the act was decisive and violent. Hours later, at around 4:22 a.m., Jacob appeared at a parking lot near the West Milton Municipal Building. In his car's trunk was Jaymee Prichard's dead body. The authorities said the car trunk was deliberately left open so that responding officers would find her. Immediately after that, Jacob took his own. 3 crime scenes have been identified at the Sugar Creek Township apartment of Gustitus, the Huber Heights residence of the Prichards, where initial acts may have occurred, the West Milton Municipal parking lot. The orchestration is chilling. The killing of a colleague, the killing of a spouse, the public reveal via the open trunk, and then the self-inflicted death. The base issued a brief statement. We are deeply saddened by this tragic event, committed to fully investigating this incident and ensuring the families and co-workers of the victims receive the support they need. The investigative agencies, Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations, BCI, the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, AFOSI, local police were mobilized. The community scraped for answers. What possessed a man to kill 2 women and then himself? How many warning signs had been ignored? How many colleagues would wake up and ask, could I have helped? As of now, no definitive motive has been released, but investigators suggest a possible interpersonal connection between the victims, given the work ties and perhaps domestic turmoil. Speculative angles include a love triangle or affair scenario involving Jacob, Jaymee, and Jaime, but still unconfirmed professional tension or jealousy between Jacob and Jaime at the research lab, a breakdown of mental health or undisclosed stressors pushing Jacob to plan out these acts. We might never know the full truth, but the pattern suggests premeditation murder. Multiple locations, sequence of killings, open trunk for discovery. This was more than a crime of passion. It appears orchestrated. Now the community and families grieving seriously, from co-workers to neighbors, and especially the 3 families involved. The shock was profound. Colleagues described both Jacob and Jaymee as friendly, kind, engaged with their children and work. Yet now their children bear a void of trauma, very hard to erase. At the base, resources were mobilized: counseling, chaplain services, support hotlines. The official statement referenced scanning for unimaginable pain. Outside, the story rippled. Media coverage, online commentary, memorials. But one question echoed: how did a man in the discipline-driven environment of a military research base unravel into murder and suicide? Imagine the institutional implications. This case brings to light the intersection of military culture and civilian life, the pressures of high-performance research, and how invisibility can cloak warning signs. Whether Jacob's actions were triggered by a personal crisis or a workplace stressor, or both, the outcome forces institutions to ask: what systems existed to detect his deterioration? What support was available, and did it fail? The Air Force's statement referenced commitment to support, but support is reactive. The question remains whether prevention could be possible. Jacob Prichard worked in an environment designed to protect and advance human performance. His wife and colleague operated within the same orbit. They were, by definition, on the side of safety and innovation. Yet in one night, safety shattered. They became victims of the same system they served. He left his wife's body in the trunk like evidence. He forced discovery. He killed a colleague. He ended his own life. The irony: trained for precision, surrounded by guardianship, yet the most destructive act he committed was the breakdown of his own moral code. The deaths of Jaime Gustitus, Jaymee Prichard, and the suicide of Jacob Prichard will be recorded in case files, briefings, and base logs. But the true cost is incalculable. The grief of families, the trauma of children, the questions unanswered. This tragedy reminds us, even in the most disciplined environments, human vulnerability remains. And even those whose job it is to master performance may fall prey to despair. If this story resonates, please remember, you're not alone. Reach out to resources if you're struggling or know someone who is, because silence, unaddressed, can turn into tragedy. This has been When Trust Became the Trigger, the Wright-Patterson triple tragedy. Thank you very much for watching far. Please don't forget to like, comment your opinion, and subscribe to my channel so you would be the first to notify when I post another crime story.